Since free agency isn't feeling so far away at this point, I decided to go over a few players whose futures with their respective teams have been uncertain. In doing so, we're going to discuss each player's situation, why they could be moving on, and what teams they could be going to. But before we get to the video, I'd quickly like to talk to you about CareBuzz. So I've gotten several comments about the quality of my microphone not being the greatest, and believe me, I've heard you all. As most know, times are hard, and I want to get a great mic so I can make the best content. I know you all, just like me, are probably living paycheck to paycheck. But with CareBuzz, you can actually help me raise money for free. Click the link below, download their app, choose my cause, and share your bandwidth to support me without paying anything. It's that simple. And remember guys, the longer you share, the more you donate. I'll keep you all updated as this campaign progresses for sure. And with that, here are 3 players who could be on new teams sooner rather than later. Drafted first overall in 2008, Steven Stamkos showcased his talents to NHL scouts via the Ontario Hockey League. Gifted with speed, a wicked wrist shot, and skating ability, the forward wasted no time when it came to cracking Tampa's lineup. Besides delivering hype initially, Stamkos quickly grew into being the franchise player that the Lightning were counting on him being, as Stamkos was able to capture the Rocket Richard twice in the earlier stages of his career, while notching 50 or more goals on both occasions. Not only that, but when healthy, the captain had 9 seasons in which he tallied 80 or more points, with the 2021-22 campaign being his best to date, as he was able to record 106 points in 81 games played. Despite being injured off and on throughout his team's Stanley Cup ventures, Stamkos was still able to be part of the back-to-back championships clinched by the Bolts. Unfortunately though, due to GM Julien Brisebois's hesitancy to re-sign him, Stamkos is currently a pending UFA, as his 8-year, $68 million contract is set to expire this July. Even though there's been crickets on the management side of things, the captain hasn't been silent about his opinions concerning his potential extension. To be honest, I've been disappointed in the lack of talk in that regard, Stamkos said on September 20th. It was something that I expressed at the end of last year, that I wanted to get something done before training camp started. There haven't been any conversations. I stated at the end of last year too, I would love to extend and play here and finish out my career here, but that's out of my hands. I can't write the contract myself. Looking back at it from a spectator standpoint, Stamkos has given the Lightning every reason to resign him. For starters, he led the Lightning in goals throughout the playoffs with 5 in 5 games. As far as the regular season was concerned, he finished 3rd in scoring, with 81 points, with 40 of those being goals. While this is completely speculation, knowing that he was the very last player off of the ice in Sunrise, this did naturally give NHL fans another reason to suspect that he could be in a new team's jersey come October. A few teams that have been linked to Stamkos here recently are the Montreal Canadiens, Detroit Red Wings, and the Buffalo Sabres. Before this past trade deadline commenced, GM Kyle Dubas shocked the hockey world by trading longtime Penguin Jake Guentzel. As Pens fans were dealing with the loss of Guentzel, and Jake shakes alike, NHL insiders were quick to discuss the potential of Crosby moving on from the Pittsburgh franchise. Reason being, it was Crosby's initial response after losing his longtime teammate to Carolina that was cause for concern. When asked about the message that Dubas and management were trying to send by the trade, Crosby replied with, "I don't know. How about you ask them?" Following the 6-0 loss to Washington, the Penguins, thanks to their captain, began to climb in the standings, while ultimately falling short of making the playoffs. Even though his team took a step back in this past campaign by all accounts, Crosby took a step forward in the twilight of his career, as the forward was able to record an impressive 94 points following 82 games played at 36 years of age. Knowing that he's on a team-friendly deal that sports a cap hit of $8.7 million, this would be enticing to prospective suitors, knowing that he's going to be a UFA next summer. Prior to the deadline following the Guentzel deal, the teams that were largely connected to Sid were the Colorado Avalanche, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. While Dubas was willing to deal Getzel, and Pittsburgh does need to look towards the future. Here's a couple of reasons as to why Crosby will likely remain where he is. For one, he has a full no-move clause on his deal, meaning that if he were to be traded, he would have full control over where and if it was going to happen. Secondly, knowing that he was the franchise's best player last season and has been the heartbeat of the team for nearly 2 decades, it's hard to believe that Dubas would even consider moving number 87 to begin with. Well guys, I guess it's the playoffs because yet again there's rumors about Mitch Marner being traded, as it seemed like Groundhog Day every spring for years with this current core group in Leafland, meaning that John Tavares, Marner, Austin Matthews, and William Nylander haven't been able to get it done when the team needs it the most. Knowing however that Matthews, Nylander, and Morgan Rielly are locked up long-term, the most enticing piece that GM Brad Treliving could offer up is Marner himself. Drafted 4th overall in 2015, Marner was viewed as an extremely competitive, offensively gifted forward who was relentless on the forecheck. Not only was he gifted in playmaking, but also when it came to transitional play as well. His talents were displayed in the OHL as he perfected his craft while playing for the London Knights. While he didn't exactly steal the Calder in his rookie season, Marner gradually found himself finishing higher and higher in top scoring amongst his peers. So far, Marner has produced 80 or more points on 4 different occasions, with his best season being the 2022-2023 campaign in which he fell 1 point shy of 100. Even though yes, Marner would easily get some attention on the market, the fact that he does have a full no-move clause in effect until 2025 could be an obstacle for GM Brad Treliving. However, NHL insider Elliot Friedman didn't shy away completely to the possibility that Marner could indeed be moved this offseason. ESPN's own Greg Wyszynski also gave his best guess as to how a Marner trade would look. Wyszynski said that to him, the most logical return would be former Arizona Coyote Clayton Keller. Reason being, Keller and Matthews have demonstrated chemistry on and off the ice, considering that they were once teammates and have been longtime friends. If Marner were to be moved, it would definitely have an effect on Matthews, who is close to him. However, trading for Keller would cushion the blow and give the new team in Utah a jolt as well. With a cap hit of $10.9 million until 2025, Marner wouldn't be easy to move just anywhere, meaning that the team that absorbs the remainder of his contract would have to have some substantial room on their books to do so. The Vegas Golden Knights, Edmonton Oilers, Boston Bruins, New York Rangers, Carolina Hurricanes, and Dallas Stars have all been listed as good fits for the forward. However, most of these teams logically would have to clear some space in order to land him. Knowing how dynamic of a player he can be, if he is traded, the team that receives him will be that much more lethal. In conclusion, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Stamkos and Marner, especially since Crosby is probably staying put. If you're new to my channel and aren't subscribed, I'd like to invite you to hit the subscribe button for more NHL themed content. And if you're already consuming my content on the regular, consider joining my Patreon. With plans that start at just $1 a month, you'll receive perks like monthly analytics, video previews, and monthly shoutouts. Simply click on the link below to get started. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.